Don't come out.
1, 2, 3.
We thought we would just share a few memories with you. We thought we would just share a few memories with you about our wonderful and generous dad. Dad was born on the 2nd of May 1935. We always remember the date because his sister Auntie Sheila's birthday is the 1st of July, and Papa Albert, his father, was born on the 3rd of March. Papa Albert and Nana Pearl, his parents, lived in Maple Leaf Gardens, Barkingside, for over 40 years. We remember going in the garden and picking apples from the tree and picking rhubarb, which Nana Pearl made into delicious tarts. She was a lovely cook, and when we were little, she used to give us sugar sandwiches, so no wonder Dad weighed 15 stone when he got married. But having been athletic all his life, he successfully kept the weight off ever since. Our grandparents had a costume jewellery stall in Romford Arcade, and in the school holidays, Dad would take us there whilst he went to work at his office. He went to work as his office was also in Romford, and we would help serve the customers and also visit the toy stall in the arcade and go to the cafe next door to the shop. It was great fun, and we had all the novelty necklaces at the time, Coke bottles, lemonade cans, love letters in envelopes. If we went on a Saturday, we would go and visit Uncle Morris's jewellery stall in the marketplace, which was next to...
I said, why are you getting involved?
Didn't
I? I said, we're getting involved. Just listen.
Which was next to Vic, the dirty bookseller.
Remember the dirty bookseller? Do you remember the dirty bookseller?
I also often went to his office on a Saturday morning, and he would give me some adding up to do whilst he opened the post. He had one of the first hot drink machines which made the best hot chocolate. This was a time that Romford had a real brewery, and there was always a really funny smell. When Dad was young, he had a job selling ice cream at the dog track, and when he got his first proper job as an accountant, before he went into practice, he was in charge of an office full of lady secretaries. After being there a short while, he worked out that they actually had a rota for each taking a day's sick leave in turn, so he sacked the lot of them. He was a very formidable employer after that, but at his old firm, Ashton Hart, where I now work, there is staff still there which Dad employed nearly 40 years ago, and I still use his old china mug. So not a lot has changed, except we now use computers instead of adding machines, and of course the law has changed considerably. It is virtually impossible now to have a frank exchange of views with the local inspector of taxes, either on the phone or face to face, as Dad used to do. As you can see, Dad has always been a keen and very competitive sportsman. He first started playing football at school and was regularly mentioned in the local press. Later, while attending Ivor County High, he played cricket at county level. Please take a look at his book of sporting achievements. He took up squash and was a member of Wanstead Squash Club for many years and won the Veterans Final at the age of 40 before he sustained an injury to his Achilles tendon. This was operated on at the very prestigious London Clinic in Harley Street. It was so prestigious, in fact, that when they sent him for an x-ray at the nearby facility, they forgot to pick him up. And he was just abandoned outside in a wheelchair for hours. This was before mobile phones had been invented. Eventually, he managed to hail a cab. He often used to take us to watch him play squash on a Friday. He was such an avid player that I actually wrote to Jim Will Fix It to ask if my dad could play squash with Tommy Steele. My request never got chosen, which in retrospect is a blessing in disguise. When I was about 17, we had a season ticket for West Ham, and we used to go every other Saturday to Upton Park, me, Dad and his nephews, and I loved it.
In our house in Longwood Gardens, we had a table tennis table, and Dad was such a good player he could beat us left-handed to show off. Mum was also a good player, and they often entered tournaments on holiday playing each other in the final. Dad would never let her win. His claim to fame is that while on holiday in Eilat, he beat the actor George Layton, who had starred in Doctor in the House at the time. His other claims to fame are that he nearly signed the 80s pop group 5 Star as clients, as they were local to Romford, and he shook hands with Prince Edward at the official opening of a new factory for one of his clients. He also tried skiing once, but as it didn't involve a bat and ball, he failed miserably and was injured on the practice lift at the dry ski slope before he even went to proper skiing. This was followed by an operation on his shoulder. He subsequently moved on to golf, and the rest is history. Our other childhood memories are of the sweetie tin. Every Friday, without fail, he would come home with a bag of fruit from Romford Market, a nut rock, opal fruits, and fries and mint chocolate for Mum.
Dad used to change his cars quite regularly, and in the early 80s he had a lovely dark blue Daimler Jag. One day the horn got stuck when he was dropping me off at school, which was very embarrassing, and he had to drive all the way to Romford with a hooter going. When he moved to Chigwell, he decided to buy a sports car, a white TR7. This was before he had arthritis, so he was able to get in and out of it. It was always breaking down, and eventually it was stolen from the forecourt of the repair garage. We joked that it'd always been so tin it'd been sold to the baked bean factory.
As you may know, Dad is good at everything, and we always ask for his advice. But there is an exception: technology. He hasn't got a clue. He is a complete technophobe. When he was 65, we bought him a DVD player. He rang us up to say, "I can't get it to work. Do I need to turn the TV on?"
Dad had a client who had a hi-fi shop, and so we were one of the first families at school to get a video recorder. It was very expensive, but when he developed a squeak, he decided to put oil in it, and that was the end of the video. However, he somehow managed to master how to use Sky Plus, so that he never has to miss an episode of Emmerdale or Hobie City, his favourite programmes.
Dad, we were going to buy you another gadget for your birthday, a Blu-ray player, so you can watch movies in HD. But then we realised that we would have to get you a new TV as well. So just to make life easier for us, we bought you clothes. It's much safer and cheaper.
Happy
Happy birthday, Daddy.